All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today, folks, I got we got a show, and I see Slim Living Cyborg in the chat. That was a good show too. Hey, Slim.
Hi, Slim.
We've got Mr. Kelvin Smith, who or actually I should be pointing that way. Who we discovered each other on TikTok, and I extended the invite to come and share whatever version of a deconversion story he had with us here on the channel. And you know what? I should really use TikTok more. I could probably get way more guests if I did.
It's way too addicting. I would suggest against it because you will quickly fall into a hole that you can't get out of. So I suggest against it.
The escape velocity of TikTok is faster actually than the speed of light.
Exactly.
So. it's at the same rate of the expansion of the universe. That's what it is.
Yep.
Exactly. So you'll never get out.
All right. So first of all, Calvin, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.
No problem. And you guys notice he's got an ACA shirt on there. So
look at that.
Kind of inter. It's okay. I pop this sucker up every once in a while too. So there you
Ding.
go. Yay.
Hey.
I even got an official letter signed by Matt Dillahunty when he was still involved with them. But he's got his Grogu.
All right.
I've got a little Grogu in the spider Yoda, habitat.
Yeah. It's the Namaste Grogu. He's working on his little force powers there.
It's funny because the only pop thing that I have is Edward Scissorhands. And I got my roommate Grumpy Cat, which I didn't even know they had a pop for Grumpy Cat because she just loves Grumpy Cat.
I thought Grumpy Cat died.
One more than I have. I've never had one. So
I know I had another one. It was Batman, but my nephew loved it, so I gave it to him. So,
nope.
Yeah,
you're on your own.
It was the original first Batman one that they ever released. So
good luck, kid.
What did he do? Yeah, what did he do? He opened it, and I'm like, oh, there goes the value.
Of course, that's what they always do.
Children.
All right, so let's try and get back on track here. Calvin, what we do here is we chat with folks about how they found their way out of whatever belief systems we were once a part of. And I know that you were involved in a couple of different, although connected, they were sort of offshoot kind of belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, tell us which branch. I guess I'm going to assume it was Christianity.
Yeah. So more specifically, it was more my family kind of lands all over the denomination tree. For the most part, it's like Catholic and Southern Baptist. But my direct family considered themselves non-denominational. Honestly, I don't even remember what exact church we went to or anything like that. So basically I went to church until I was maybe 6 or 7 years old. Parents split up, and then we basically couldn't continue to go anymore. So religion was kind of put on the back burner with, my mom, dealing with all of that, my dad dealing with that. So I essentially was more so sucked into like the conspiracy theories type of aspect. Like my sisters were like really into looking at like aliens and reading like books about ghosts. I have a lot of Native American people in my family, so a lot of superstitions involving that kind of circulating the family. So we were very superstitious. So it more so stuck with me the like conspiracy theories and the just the kind of oddball things, I guess you could say, the paranormal or supernatural or whatever. And God was kind
into that shit myself. I consider myself Wiccan and pagan and all kinds of crap at one point. Yeah.
So the religion was kind of on the back burner for the most part. But then as I started kind of investigating a lot of these conspiracy theories that I was really deeply believing, I started kind of falling back into like the Bible. Like I came across the Dead Sea Scrolls and like the theory that maybe Jesus was just tripping on mushrooms and, like, that kind of stuff. So,
tripping Jesus.
Yeah. So
balls, man.
I was like, you know what? My family is religious. I'm just going to read the Bible, see what's up with it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Maybe it'll make me a better Christian. Yeah. And needless to say, like, within like 6 or 7 verses, I had a lot of questions already. I was like, this isn't going well already. It's not even a page in. It was a KJV that I was trying to read. I just was reading it on my phone. And I did skip over a couple small books like Lamentations and like Ruth and stuff like that. I skipped over a couple little books, but for the most part, read it to the best of my ability. By revelation, I was like, yeah, I definitely don't believe this. Like, definitely. Like I'm pretty sure of that I don't believe this. And if this God did exist, I don't really want to have any part of him regardless, you know.
Hey, J. Mike. Also, I remember hearing, I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard that Revelations was actually at one time, I think it was probably before the Council of Nicaea, it was considered to be blasphemous until somebody realized that it could be used as a tool to scare the crap out of people and make them obey and tithe and all that crap.
And it works because it's fucking terrifying. So.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The imagery in it is terrifying. Yeah, so I mean, needless to say, after I read the Bible and was like, yeah, I definitely don't believe in this whole God stuff, especially the Christian God stuff at the very least. So I kind of applied that same amount of skepticism to like the conspiracy theories that I believe, like in Bigfoot. You know, why do I believe in Bigfoot? Is there evidence for Bigfoot? What evidence is contradictory to there being a Bigfoot? So I kind of was digging a lot deeper rather than just typing into Google what I want to be true and then just believing the first article that pumps up. So I kind of learned how to research a little better and understand what the hell I was talking about.
I did. My friend had a picture Bible, so it was for kids. Right? Made it fun. Made it fun for them.
He's colored in it.
Yeah. I'm drawing Muhammad in the Bible.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So after you hit, so when you hit 7 and you stopped going to church, is that when the parents sort of had the little?
Yeah, that's because we were going to church pretty regularly up until then. My sisters both went to church. You know, I have 2 older sisters that they have a lot more vivid memories from church, going to church, you know, stuff that they did for the church and at the church. I don't have a whole lot of vivid memories. I have a couple, you know, sermons that kind of float around in there. I can't really remember what was said or anything, but yeah, so I don't have a huge memory of what exactly went on. So I kind of got out of it a little early, I guess you could say. So, but it was always kind of back there. Like my parents were always like, you know, God's watching, you know, watch out, you know.
You watch when I masturbate?
Exactly.
Fucking pervert.
Like, look away. What the
Turn your head. Avert your gaze.
Avert thine eyes.
Privacy around this joint.
Okay, something really nasty just went through my mind. I'm not going to repeat it.
Don't say it. It's too early in the show.
So when you got out of the like religious part of it, you kind of did the conspiracy stuff stay with you a little longer?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I literally I would consider myself an ex-conspiracy theorist, if anything, because of the plethora of conspiracy theories that I believed, like off of fucking zero evidence, is startling. It's startling. It got really extreme for a minute. Like everything from the Earth being flat to, you know, the reptilians running the government, and Hurricane Katrina was a false flag operation by the reptilians from the Draco constellation. They planned Hurricane Katrina as a false flag operation so that they could they could kill the people that abduct the people and claim that they died during the storm and do tests on them. I believed that to be true.
I knew it.
Off of zero evidence whatsoever. Needless to say, it didn't take me long to work myself out of that one. But yeah, so that's just one example of some of the concerning things I believed.
Do you think that was probably one of the more bizarre ones?
Oh yeah. That was more on the bizarre end.
Where's the Draco system? Like the constellation?
So the Draco constellation
of Draco.
It's a star constellation that's couple
southern
light years
hemisphere,
away.
isn't
It's fairly close, but there's a lot of references to the Draco constellation and like what's the word I'm thinking of? I guess you could say ancient history. You know, they looking at the stars. I
Isn't
guess
the Dogon temple sort of
right, exactly.
was allegedly designed to look like the Draco system or
Right,
something?
right. So yeah, I basically thought that reptilian aliens came from that constellation, and
Of course
they
they
were,
do.
of course, they came all the way
Why
here
call it
just
Draco?
so that they could pose as Hillary Clinton, of course.
Yes,
Um,
that's right. Yeah. We were
Everybody
originally
knows.
exposed to these
Not
lizard
joking.
guys. These
Um,
lizard guys on the land of the lost. They called them the Slee Stacks.
so yeah, but you know, the whole God thing was kind of on the back burner for a while, but it wasn't until I met my wife, and my wife is arguably the most skeptical person that I've ever met. She was raised atheist and
doubt your
everything, so
existence?
she never had any type of God belief whatsoever. And so
fantastic.
she I met her right about the time that like this conspiracy stuff started getting really weird. And it was funny, you know, that she was such a skeptic and didn't believe a freaking word that I was saying, but yeah, she was like, okay, honey, yeah. But it's because of kind of some of the questions that she was asking, and on top of learning to look at reliable resources for information rather than, you know, personal anecdotes and blurry
Yes.
Google photographs.
Even some personal experiences, because we know how the brain works and how it
Exactly.
can fool you. There's a few people have been asking you about these beliefs, like the lizard people and all that stuff. They want to know how you found your way out of that particular sort of belief.
Essentially, we have no examples of lizard people as far as I'm concerned. We have some pretty smart lizards out there. I'm a big reptile nerd. Okay. But
bearded dragons are awesome.
Hey, I love bearded dragons. I've got a bearded dragon and blue tongue skink, and
oh, cool.
Yeah, super cool. Is my best friend.
Wait, I have a question. Are lizards reptile, but not all reptiles are lizards? Is that how that goes?
Kind of, yeah.
Like
I guess you could say that.
Like the
that kind
square
of
rectangle thing.
I guess so.
Like not all squares are rectangles, but all. I think I had it backwards. All rectangles are squares.
No.
All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles
not all
are squares.
rectangles are squares. Yes.
Yes. Is that the same thing with lizards and reptiles?
But yeah, basically it was it's not reasonable to think that there are lizard people that came from another solar system all the way here just to disguise themselves as Hillary Clinton and Justin Bieber and secretly run the government behind closed doors, and then like make a false flag operation of Hurricane Katrina. Like, why didn't they just take the homeless people? You know, like it started that type of rationalization started just kind of working my way up to that. And I also started learning a lot about street epistemology too. I started watching
do you feel you started
Anthony Magnabosco and some
great guy,
I actually went into it kind of believing what the people were saying rather than Anthony. And yeah, and then I was like, you know what? He's got a really freaking good point. I'm going to subscribe to this guy. And I just watched more of his stuff. And then my wife's questioning me. I'm reading the Bible, just having my own personal questions, and eventually just kind of realized that lizard people don't exist, as far as I know. I mean, feel free to prove me wrong. Yeah.
Hang on. Life is not a Doctor Who episode.
It is, but it's just not out yet.
Hey, there you go.
That episode's coming.
Season 47.
Yeah, they brought back David Tennant again for a bit until they replace him with the new, which I think is cool. I like Tennant.
See, I never watched Doctor Who.
Oh, me neither.
That's it, folks. Show's over.
Oh,
I didn't have that. I didn't have that channel. So now it's like, oh, catch up on Doctor Who.
On like HBO or something? I don't know.
Yeah, and then
fucking
it's like
download it for fuck's sakes.
Oh yeah, catch up on the 3 trillion episodes that are out.
Right.
That's a daunting task.
Right.
And heaven forbid you pick the wrong doctor to start on. Then everybody attacks you. because you're
daunting
stupid.
task. I just started watching fucking Bleach.
Oh my God. That like One Piece. Oh, geez.
One
Piece.
Oh, sick.
Food's here.
Straw hats. Food's there. Uh-oh. Mikey's going to be eating on camera.
Oh, yum.
I fucking, that is so funny. My little jumping spider hangs out of his little walnut hide like fucking Snoopy sits on his doghouse and does the vulture pose.
Right.
So fucking cute.
That's cute.
Little fluff ball. Anyway, so what do you think was like the hardest thing for you to let go? What do you think?
The hardest thing for me to let go is the aliens creating like the ancient structures around the world, the whole thing. Like the pyramids and Machu Picchu. That was the hardest part, because that was like till the very end. That was like literally the last like big thing that I think I remember dropping, is that like we don't have evidence of aliens. So until there is evidence of aliens, I don't believe in aliens. It took me 25 years to say that.
That was probably the triple coins haiku from Ollie. Yeah, there it was.
Hey.
So we have a drinking game because my phone makes the Mario coin noise.
Yeah.
So every time you hear the coin noise go off, you got to drink.
Oh.
And Ollie doesn't drink, but he does the triple coins stoner haiku, where he sends me a haiku, 3 different lines, and it comes up and hits 3 times so he can take a big hit off of his monster bong.
Dope. That's cool.
Yes, Randy, I do know that there's a season of Bleach this year. I do know.
Oh boy, they're still putting stuff out for that. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, it disappeared for a few years and then they brought it back.
Wow. See, like I watched probably a good maybe 150 episodes, and then I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm on 148 right now, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I rather enjoyed it. It's kind of cheesy, but I like it.
Yeah.
The beginning of this one kind of reminds me like the beginnings of Naruto, where you kind of get annoyed every time he goes, "You better believe it," that kind of thing, right? So
right. Oh my God, that just literally, that was like PTSD.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember watching through all that. I remember watching that as a kid and just being so incredibly annoyed by Naruto's voice.
Yeah, but it gets so much better as you get into it.
Oh, it does, 100%. Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a good majority of Naruto, and I kind of want to start it again.
Oh, I loved it. I couldn't stop watching it after a while. After the first couple seasons, when it gets into Shippuden, that's when it just goes off the rails. Yeah. And of course the movies that have fallen there too.
And
of course now I'm still waiting for them to drop some new episodes of One Piece so I can catch up on One Piece. And yeah.
Right on.
I saw 3 episodes of Bleach. Yeah, you see, you gotta go past 3.
You have to go past 3. I mean, you got to give it at least, I would say, at least like 6 or 8, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, a good season's worth, I would say.
Anyways. Yeah, Skeptics and Scoundrels pointed out, that there's a lot of drama with the Bleach writers. Overworked studio stuff and whatnot.
Oh.
Yes. Need One Punch Man season 3. Agreed. We need more Saitama.
See, I only saw season 1 of that. I haven't watched season 2. I did really like
both season 1 and 2. Really? Oh, he's so like the opposite of what you look for in a hero. It's just like
pretty funny.
Yeah, and then he just goes out and he just wallops them, and that's it. It's over, right?
Right.
This is completely unprofessional, and I apologize to everybody, but bruh, there's barbacoa under there.
You're making me jealous.
Oh, and I'm about to eat it in your face too. I haven't eaten today. I'm so sorry.
Dude, I don't care.
I'm so sorry, everybody, but this smells like a dream that got laid with a fantasy and they had a love baby. It is just great.
That sounds pretty appetizing.
Mm.
All right, so Shit. You know what? I had a question for you a few minutes ago, and it's fucking
sorry.
gone now.
Dang.
What about like your friends and family? Once you sort of pulled yourself out of the whole religious side of things, regardless of the fact that you stayed in sort of the conspiracy lane for a little while, how did they take that? Like, how did they deal with you not like you dropping your belief in God and that kind of stuff?
So I never really like announced it to like everybody or anything. It just kind of was a
So no
slow
trumpets
process of
and
me
drums
posting things online, and
Right.
you know, lots of questions, lots of memes, and it just kind of, it was such a slow process. I don't think most of them even like really registered that it happened. Because this is, I mean, really I wasn't even comfortable calling myself an atheist until, I don't know, maybe almost a year after I read the Bible. Probably about 2017 is when I was more comfortable calling myself an atheist because of the stigma around it, you know. So
Yeah.
I was just calling myself an agnostic, and uh,
Agnostics
now
are
that
what I
bothers
refer
me
to.
when people call themselves just agnostics, to be completely honest.
Well, it's like you don't want to admit that you don't believe anymore.
Right. It's like,
Well, I
are
don't
you
know.
exactly? It's like, come
Yeah,
on
right.
now, spit it out.
Don't need to
And
know.
that's kind
If
of
there
where
was
I
a
was
God,
at.
we'd
And
know.
like my mom doesn't care, you know, my parents don't care at all. My grandma on my dad's side is a bit on the more religious side, so I don't think she necessarily, I don't even know if she knows for sure what I do, but I don't think she'd be super happy about it. And you know, I overall everyone doesn't really care, to be honest, and I have a lot of atheists that run, you know, are in my family too. So
Okay.
it's nothing really new to anybody. We're all kind of accepting of each other, and we don't really push our beliefs on each other. You know, there's still, when we get together for
Or lack
family
of.
get-togethers, there's, you know, the family prayer circle, and you know, you can either participate or not. You know, it's
Fair
no one
enough.
judges anybody for not participating.
That's
It's
cool.
pretty neutral, yeah. So luckily there's no necessarily hard feelings. It's not like when I'm there, I'm over there like, you know, counter apologizing everybody or something. You know,
So how do you know what you believe is true? No, but I
right.
mean, like, when you have you always known that there have been people in your family that were atheists already?
Um, yeah, I think so. Like I'm pretty sure um I had a good idea that my next oldest sister was an atheist. Um I'm pretty sure I had a pretty good idea with that. So I mean, yeah, I was aware that, you know, they were like in the family, but it wasn't like a thing that anyone talked about or like even cared about, really.
Well, I was going
We
to
weren't like
ask
a
you.
family to necessarily talk about religion. It just always was like God is real. Pray at family gatherings. That is a thing we all do together. And you know, be thankful to God for whatever. And that's just kind of how it was. It wasn't heavily enforced, but it was like kind of finger waving type of thing. So my family wasn't super strict, super evangelical by any means,
Okay.
but not compared to, you know, most people out there's experiences with Christianity. But I guess I kind of got lucky with that one, but.
Yeah, I think so. Well, the reason I asked is because I was going to ask you is when you first started realizing your atheistic ways, did you ever talk to any of them about their positions and how they got there?
Um, let's see. I haven't really had any conversations with many of my family members recently. Maybe 6 months or so ago, I was speaking with my oldest sister who went to she went to a Christian college. She I saw that,
That's
but
Fredger.
funny. But yeah, she went to a Christian college, and so I was kind of talking to her a little bit at this family gathering. It was just like my dad and like a couple other people. And because I was actually wearing the shirt, and she was like, you know, hey, you know, she was just asking me a couple questions about some things, and she was like, you know, I don't think I believe that anymore. After I had my daughter, and I looked her in the eyes, I said, this thing, how is this thing evil? How is this thing broken and sinful? Why? What is wrong with this little newborn baby? And she said, at that moment, I realized that I was probably an atheist.
It's funny you say that. Me and the wife just did like the 3D ultrasound thing where they can get like really good pictures of like the baby's face while they're still in the womb. I mean, she didn't behave for the lady, and she had her foot up in her face, blocking the damn wand, so we couldn't get a good picture for like half the session. But they're precious, and to think of that little girl, that little guy, and say, "Yeah, straight to hell unless you jump through these hoops for me." Like, if that's your religion, then you're all backwards.
Exactly.
You can keep it. Thanks. Yeah. Because apparently you're born with 7 generations of this land. It's like, what?
Right.
Literally.
Who the fuck made that up?
She's literally perfect in there. She's literally perfect. So I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
So yeah, I talked to my sister, and my other sister was there too, that I was pretty sure was atheist, and we all just were kind of talking about this type of stuff, and we kind of come to the same we come to a mutual understanding of each other that there probably isn't anything out there, so let's just enjoy what we've got, everything that's here, because we were actually there celebrating my sister that passed away, my other sister that passed away. We were there like kind of memorializing the day of her death. So that's kind of what we were all doing together there. So that's kind of why that conversation came up a little bit. So that's my family overall doesn't care. I did just have a conversation with my neighbor though. Oh boy. Conversation with my neighbor was super interesting. I came home from work, and I was just fixing something for, the wife said, "Hey, can you do this outside real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I was outside doing it. Neighbor comes out and helps me fix it up. And we're just talking about stuff, talking about money and finances. And he was like, with you being the age that you are, because he's like an older guy, a little bit older guy. And he was like, with you being the age that you are, I'm surprised that you don't do like the internet stuff, like with the content stuff. And I'm like, I was like, well, we've lived here for just over a year. And I was like, well, I do. And I was like, oh shit. Cause he's super evangelical. He's a truck driver for the Salvation Army. So he's in it. Needless to say, he was like, "Oh, you do?" He's like, "You do a podcast. What is that about?" And I'm like, "Well, I talk to people about what they believe and why they believe it." And he was like, "What kind of beliefs?" And I was like, "Oh, geez, here it is." I was like, "Religion and UFOs and Bigfoot, whatever belief, deeply held belief someone has, that may be on the oddball side of things. I have him on my show to talk about it." And he was like, "So you're, you guys are atheists. I think it takes more faith to be an atheist, than it takes." And I was like, "Oh my God, here it is." I was like, "Can you
trope number 1?" Woo!
I was like, there it is, right out of the freaking gate.
Gag me with a spoon. God. Here we go.
And I was like, so this is how the conversation is going to go. He came off very defensive right away as soon as this conversation started. And so I was just like, great, I need to turn on straight epistemology mode now.
Check my inner Magna Bosco.
Right. I'm like, bring out my inner Anthony. And so I was like, what's your definition of atheism? Can you just define it for me real quick? And he just was like, devil worshiper. He's like, well, you think that you came from a pile of ooze? And I was like, stop. It's not atheism.
I'm not trying to be gross, but everybody did kind of come from a pile of
primordial ooze, if we want to get that.
Yeah.
I guess you could call. Now we're getting gross. So essentially the conversation wasn't going super well. He started, telling me that I actually am Christian because I read the Bible. So he told me that I actually do believe in God. And I was like, well, no, I read the Quran too. I read the Bhagavad Gita too. And I read the Book of Mormon too.
And Lord of the Rings.
I don't believe
And
any
the
of
Old
them, guy.
Testament, the Torah, what a Pentateuch. What
Like,
else?
I
do wanna
don't
know?
believe any of them, dude. Like, you're like,
I read
Um,
Johnny Tremaine, so I'm a silversmith. Wait, that's not how that works.
I
so
read
yeah.
Spider-Man, so
We
I'm a
ended the
superhero.
conversation, we shook hands together, and I was like, man, I live 50 feet from you. If you ever want to talk about this stuff, you just come knock on my door. We can talk about this stuff. I'm happy to have a conversation. He was like, that's fine. And I'll leave you with this. You're not an atheist, Calvin. And then he walked away. I was like, are you fucking
Show
kidding
that
me?
so-called atheist.
That's kind of how my mom is, because every time I say the word atheist, she's like, "No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh,
Don't say that.
Hellbound
Don't say that. Don't
Hillbilly
say that. No, you're
It's like, God, it's just
came
like
in.
gut reaction to say, fuck you.
not."
It's
Ooh.
like- that's like
Oh,
my
yeah.
gut reaction.
Keep it clean, hillbilly. Keep it clean.
Like I don't want to tell my mom, "Fuck off, you're wrong."
Right,
But,
exactly.
but I just keep saying it over and over again. So it's like if we're gonna play like the yes you are, no I'm not. Yes you are, no I'm not. If that's the game we're playing, let me get a monster and we can do this. Like it's no big deal to me.
Yep. But no one gets
And
anywhere
like
with that.
rubber, you're like glue. What you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Yeah, yeah.
Sticks to goo.
It's just like, oh,
You had to do that, didn't you? You just had to. Just shut up and eat your fucking tacos.
your delicious tacos that I'm really jealous of.
Yes. Well, I just had my roommate cooked up a huge roast, so I just had a big ass roast.
Dang, I had like
tonight.
beans and
Twice in a
weenies.
row.
These are
Huh.
these are
Hey,
barbacoa.
nothing wrong with that.
These are barbacoa tacos, so it's like Mexican pot roast tacos.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, it does sound good. I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
And all I got left now is I was jumping for joy because today at work I discovered we've got this new vending machine where you can use your phone and order it on your phone, right?
Fancy.
Just, yeah, but they have fucking Pop-Tarts in them, and I'm like, oh, fuck!
Yeah, blueberry is the best one.
Yeah, that one
Heck
I like
yeah.
the double chocolate one too.
Eh,
The best thing to do with that is you take the chocolate one, you break them both, and you put them in a bowl. You heap vanilla ice cream all over it and put chocolate fudge sauce all over it and eat it that way.
Hell yeah.
That's a good way to eat that shit.
that sounds good.
Now I want ice cream. Fuck me. Anyways. So Misfit Amish is making chicken right now.
Oh,
The Amish kind.
the Amish kind.
What, does it have a funny little beard or?
Right.
Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My food isn't done yet. Well, I hope you enjoy that chicken.
I expect a full recipe in the after show.
Yep.
Ooh, Spanish bubbles and squeak. Nice. You're probably wondering what is bubble and squeak?
Yeah, I'm like bubble and squeak. What did I miss something?
I think isn't it? Though she's having the Spanish version, I think it's an English thing. I will double check because I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. Never heard of it.
British dish made from cooked potatoes, cabbage mixed together and fried. The food writer Howard Hillman classified as one of the greatest peasant dishes of the world.
Greatest peasant dishes.
So
Love that
I guess
phrase.
you could probably season it to be from anywhere, really.
Right.
Like I wonder if there's a curry version.
I was about to
Ooh,
say
yeah.
if it's a UK dish, then there's no seasoning at all. Just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. They think everything is spicy.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. My roommate thinks butter chicken is spicy. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, what? Bubble and squeak with chorizo and cheese. Nice.
Yum.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Dang.
So I've had
It's making
bubble
me
and squeak.
hungry.
It's good as is. I know.
Oh
Well,
my
that's why I got
God.
the Pop-Tarts on standby.
Right. I don't have any snacks on standby
I
here.
got a bag of
I
chips
did not
too,
come
but
prepared.
that's later.
We usually like drinking and smoking and like indulging in, the sins. But man, food is really on our minds today.
Yeah, I know butter chicken's not really spicy, but my roommate thinks fucking cheddar cheese is spicy. So yeah, something like that. It's pretty tough. Air fried green beans. I just bought an air fryer, and I haven't
Ooh,
used it yet.
lucky.
It's just a little one for like those quick snack kind of thing. And apparently, you can fucking make donuts in it. Like,
What?
Okay, that's all I'm making in it is fucking donuts.
Hell yeah. I didn't know
I
you
love donuts.
How do you make donuts in that?
Well, it's a fryer, right? It's an air fryer.
I don't know how the hell those things work. I don't know. I don't have one. I want one because they look awesome and they cook great food.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, how the hell do air fryers work? Alien technology.
There's got to be a freaking alien in it.
Straight from the Draco system.
Exactly.
It's the new Draco air fryer. Cook all your lizard meat.
Right. Cook like a lizard folk. Use an air fryer.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a bit about your podcast because I want to know, like,
Cool.
By the way, guys, there's a Linktree link for Calvin below, so you can check out his podcast if you're into hearing sort of the talking to folks about their beliefs and stuff like that, and about conspiracies and stuff like that. So definitely check out his podcast below, and it also has a link to his TikTok where I found Calvin.
Yes.
And I've laughed at many of his TikToks, so I knew after seeing at least a dozen of them that I got to get this guy on the show. So I just basically went, "Hey, you want to come on my show?" And Cal's like, "Yeah, sure." And the rest is history.
I mean, to be fair, I have known about you, Neil, for a while because I was with I did Truth Wanted with the Atheist Community of Austin. I actually guest hosted on there once with Objectively Dan. And, I know you've done some stuff with the ACA, and so I'm familiar with you, my man. So
well, fair enough.
So yeah, as soon as you reached out to me, I was like, oh heck yeah, like for sure, I'll definitely be on. But yeah, with my podcast, cool. I talk to anybody about any type of deeply held belief. So I've talked to flat earthers. I've had a couple flat earthers on. Arguably he calls himself the world's most famous flat earther, Flat Earth David Weiss. I talked to him.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
That must have been fun.
Holy hell, man. Like that was the most intense podcast yet, arguably. Right next to the other, I talked to another flat earther from Australia who just was like rude right off of the bat, and it just was yeah, so it just didn't go very well. So I've talked to them. I talked to some people who believe that they've been like abducted by aliens, like Debbie Solaris. She has a TV show on the Gaia Network. I've talked to her about what she believes. I had Anthony Magnabosco on and was like, "Oh my God, I'm fangirling right now because you're basically the reason why I did this show." So I had him on. I talked to him. Had David Fitzgerald, author of Nailed and Jesus Mything in Action. I talked to him for a while. I talked to a couple Christians, couple pastors, and what else? I talked about some cryptids and ancient lost technology. So I used to be really into like the whole, like I was mentioning, aliens building the pyramids, and Atlantis was a really, really, really big one. That was a very recent one too. Like within the past like year, I dropped the Atlantis thing.
They keep finding that place, right?
Yeah, like totally believes Atlantis was like real and like existed, not right now, but was a civilization up until like about a year and a half ago or so. And then I talked to someone on my podcast and they just sounded really freaking crazy when they were talking about it, and was like, "Oh wow, that's how I sound." So that doesn't sound right to me. I need to reevaluate this. And that's pretty much how my show goes, is I talk to people and I'm like, "Eesh, okay, so that's how that sounds." So it's kind of plead your case type of thing. It's essentially people come on my show and essentially try to convince me, I guess. Why do you believe what you believe? Why should I believe you? Why should anyone believe you? Give me a reason, because I want to know what's true. So, and if you have some, evidence of aliens or Bigfoot or something of that matter, then I definitely want to know about it.
John wants to know if you're in Austin.
No, I'm not actually. I'm in Southeast Michigan, Detroit.
There you go.
Oh,
Red Wings
fan? Are you a Red Wings fan? I'll let you go first.
No, I don't do sports ball.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is a puck.
It's a flat ball, Neil. We've been over this. It's only round in 2 dimensions.
I literally have never watched any sports. I've watched like a couple of UFC fights, and that's pretty much all I got under my belt.
Oh, okay.
Question:
I'm Canadian, and we legally have to be hockey fans. So,
question: is it snowing in Detroit area, and is it moving west? I need to know because I'm in Chicago, and I need to get my fan and put it on the roof and blow that shit back over to
Well,
your side
it
of the
was
lake.
hail.
You can keep
Last
that
night
shit over
was
there.
hail the size of like, I don't know, maybe a quarter or so
Grapes.
in some cases. It was
Ooh,
pretty good
shit.
sized hail last
Oh,
night.
no, I hate that.
It wasn't, super dangerous by any means. And then it snowed overnight too. So
If
about
that
an
comes,
inch or so.
if that comes over here, I'm putting my wife's car out of the garage in the driveway. My truck's going in the garage. I'm not dinging my shit up.
See, I don't have a garage, so I'm just fucked. I just have to park in the driveway and hope for the best.
My Mini Cooper's in there, but I don't want it to get hit either. So her car's just gonna have to take it. It'll be
Oh
fine.
boy.
We're getting rid of her car anyway. She hates it. I hate it. So
We're going for the hammered look.
right. Oh, what a unique paint effect. It almost looks like there's thousands of little dents all over it.
Yeah, that's right. It's an effect.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Don't touch it.
So my friend Anjur has and I thought about it as soon as you mentioned cryptids. The same thought went through my mind. Our good friend Bree does a channel as well where she does Cryptid Corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're on Twitter, but do you use your Twitter?
I kind of like, honestly, I pop on there like maybe once a month, to be completely honest.
Well, you're gonna have to hit the like on the thank you tweet I do later.
Okay, I will. I promise.
But
You must.
But I could probably connect you and Bree, and you guys could talk, because I think you'd be great with Bree on her show.
Yeah.
and do
Yeah, because I did a whole I did a podcast where I kind of, me and a friend of mine here in Michigan, I figured it'd be fun to get a fellow Michigander on and talk about the Michigan dog man, because that's like kind of Michigan's Bigfoot. So we kind of, like, I guess you could say, tried to debunk the Michigan dog man. And I did a whole episode where I talked about the beast of Gévaudan. That was a really interesting story that we did. And I wanted to do a Mothman episode, but I couldn't find anyone who believes in Mothman to talk to me. So, so I want to talk to someone who, like, believes in Mothman. I want someone to plead their case for Mothman.
Yeah, I liked all that shit too. I used to think chupacabras were real, and fucking Bigfoot was real, and Yetis are real. And,
yeah. So this is,
it's possible that there are mermaids, I guess.
This is very self-serving of me, but I want to pick you and Bree's brain for like cryptids and stuff like that, because I'm like making this like almost like Men in Black government agency TTRPG like scenario. So I need stuff like that. I need like some Mothman, some like Yeti. I need some like random creatures that people haven't heard of that I can have attack and kill my players.
Right? Yes, Skeptics and Scoundrels, mammoths were real. That's the difference between Mothmans and mammoths.
Sure, they were, Neil. I'll believe that. Sure, just like that.
They're going to bring them back. They're bringing them back. Them and the dodos and the Tasmanian tiger.
All those bones are obviously, they're just ground up chicken bones from China.
Obviously.
That's what David Weiss says.
Or an elephant.
David Weiss says all fossils are ground up chicken bones from China.
Right. Of course
all
they
of
are.
Them. Every single one of them.
Where do I get that job? Who's the guy that gets to grind up the
I agree. Like, who's in charge of that?
It's got to pay good.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys think of ghosts? Well, Calvin and myself and even Mikey used to believe in them at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still believe in them.
Do you?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
for joke purposes, of course I do.
Okay. All right. You got me.
It's just kind of with the whole ghost thing. It just kind of came down to, I can't explain this thing that I'm seeing. So why am I labeling it a ghost? You know, why am I trying to explain this thing that's unexplained? It makes no sense to me. And we just know that, as far as I'm concerned, dead people, like when they die, that's it. You know, they don't like come back in like a ghost form.
That's right. And I'm going to post in the chat for anyone that wants to check it out, an article that they posted in I can't remember where it was from. I think it was Express Co UK or whatever, Science News, and it was done by Sean Carroll, who you may know of as a physicist and cosmologist and stuff like that. And he talks about why life after death is not possible. So I'll post that link there. It's in the chat now if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah.
And he'll explain to you why an afterlife is not real and can't be.
Heck yeah.
So
I'm going to check it out afterwards too.
And I use that article usually when I do those call-in shows, like I've done with like Dillahunty or Secular Rarity and Dan and the like. All they call it, where people call in and talk about ghosts.
Yeah,
I always use the quotes and stuff from that article because it saves me from having to sort of try to come up with my own explanations, I guess. But because they're more succinct and more on point, I guess. So I just blurt them out. I go, listen, we know about the quantum realm, and everything has a field, like a Higgs field. Every particle has its own field. And if there is such a thing as a spirit particle, because spirits would have to be made of something, people always say, oh, well, they're energy. Okay, well, we can measure energy, but we've never measured spirit energy. So, and it would have its own field, and we would see that, and it would be measurable and demonstrable. It's never happened. And the reason is because of, and he goes into all this stuff. And it's a very, very interesting article.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send it to you on Facebook. I'll just drop it in the messenger and you can check it out for sure. It's worth a read. When I first read that, I was like, holy shit, this encapsulates everything that I now think of when I think of ghosts and stuff like that. Because I wanted to be a ghost hunter. There's a reason why I bought my fucking high-def camera was to be a ghost hunter. And and I thought I had ghosts at one time in different houses that I've lived in. I apparently lived in this one house that used to be a railway stopover place in Richmond, BC here. And apparently 5 people had died in there. I don't know if that's even true, but it was the
you just 5 people died here.
And one night, a really bizarre thing happened. I had the dog was upstairs napping beside me, and I was reading one of my 18 gazillion comic books that I had at the time. And all of a sudden, I noticed this weird thing up in the corner kind of move out the door. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Love the dramatization.
The Foley work is
right.
The Foley man. And right after that thing went out of the room, the cats at the bottom, who always slept at the bottom of the stairs, used to curl up together, freaked out and ran out. And I go, oh, it's a ghost. It's got to be a ghost. Well, it turns out that John, my other roommate, who lives downstairs, threw something at the cats. That freaked them out. I didn't know that. But I thought, so there's always an explanation.
So what you're telling me, Neil, is ghosts are actually balled up socks.
That's right. That's right.
Obviously.
Or earthquakes that can cause your cupboard doors to open. Like little tremors that you might not even feel, but are enough to dislodge your cupboard doors.
What if? So I think I solved it, guys. Either ghosts aren't real, or you got to get a different camera. We'll just keep trying camera. We don't know. Maybe we need a
obviously it's just the camera you're using.
Maybe the lens is a little dirty or something. There's a smudge.
I heard
it didn't come through. Maybe.
I heard that the reason why all the pictures of Bigfoot are kind of blurry is because Bigfoot himself is actually blurry because he's vibrating at a different rate that we are.
I actually talked to a Bigfoot researcher, quote unquote Bigfoot researcher. He's a self-proclaimed world's best Bigfoot researcher, Ron Moorhead. And he believes that Bigfoot, the reason why he can't take photographs with him is because he's actually has supernatural powers where he can actually I guess disrupt your camera to where you can't get a good picture. Oh, and Bigfoot also travels through time and interdimensionally also.
What if
interdimensionally?
What if it's like the double slit experiment with Bigfoot? Where if you look at it, like it was a wave of Bigfoot that you could see, but then as soon as you try to take a picture, it's like a particle, and then it just gets blurry, and you can't take a picture. It's the double slit Sasquatch experiment.
That's literally his explanation.
or Bigfoot vibrator, girl's best friend.
Oh God!
Good Lord,
Harry and the Hendersons just took on a whole new meaning.
Somebody said the Bigfoot is very blurry. Yeah. As we were just talking about, he's not It's not that he can't get good pictures of him. He's actually blurry.
or he has a
Like a
magical
big blurry
power.
Wookiee.
He has the magic power to like reverse the observer effect.
Right.
Like it just doesn't work on him because of the matter he's made out of.
There you go.
This is
Let
fun.
me stroke my beard.
I believe in everything now. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I believe.
I can make up a reason for
Wow,
anything.
Bigfoot's definitely real then.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I can relate to what Aunt Jur put in here for sure. I wanted ghosts to be real too because I always wanted to help them. Because you always see like Disney movies about ghosts and how the kids get together and they help you figure out who killed them and put it all to rest and yada yada. And I wanted to be that kid, right? But yeah, unfortunately,
I didn't like Casper.
like The Frighteners. The Frighteners was a great fucking movie.
Casper was dark, dude.
Oh yeah.
No, The Frighteners, not Casper.
I didn't see the Frighteners.
Me neither.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Michael J. Fox.
No.
I think the only thing I've seen with Michael J. Fox is Back to the Future and Teen Wolf.
Literally.
I'm like,
Both good.
The Teen Wolf guy. He's got a, what was that?
Hey, he's from
City or
my
whatever?
house. From my house. He's from my neck of the woods.
Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, he's from Burnaby, dude.
Oh really?
He's a Canadian?
I'm like 5 minutes away from Burnaby.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's
What?
from here.
I mean, I think I knew that he
Yeah.
was Canadian, but yeah, that's interesting.
You Canadians
Burnaby.
just sneak over the border whenever you like, making films. Taking
I can
over.
name 3 more famous actors that are from my area.
Ryan Reynolds
Ryan Reynolds is one of them. Yeah.
and
Jason Priestley.
who is that? Oh, from 90210
Yes, and Will Sasso,
from Mad TV.
Mad TV. Yeah.
Oh.
First time I met Will, I was working tow trucks, and I got a call to go to his. I guess he was over at his parents' place at the time, and he was driving a Jeep Grand Cherokee at the time, and he couldn't get the door wouldn't close. The latch in there stuck. So I went over there all like. He wasn't famous at that time. He hadn't even been in Happy Gilmore yet. But
was
he
in
was
Happy
taking
Gilmore?
acting lessons. Yeah, he's the movers at the beginning and moving the grandma.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
he's one of them.
Oh, I got to see that scene now. God damn it!
Yeah, and I fixed his door, and he thought I was the greatest shit. He's like, oh, you saved me, man! I'm like, oh, just remember me when you're famous, and of course he did. The last time I saw him at a little restaurant here we have called Boston Pizza, and I saw him in there with a bunch of his friends. It's like, hey, it's the door fixer guy. Hey, and I'm like, hey, Will, how you doing? It's like, good. I'm famous now, and I didn't forget you. I'm like, no, you didn't. Which I thought was pretty
Cool.
funny. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Nice.
So was there? I mean, back to the conspiracy thing. So like aliens.
Mhm.
How many different types of aliens kind of like stuff did you find? Like I know the Draco system guy with like the reptilian people, but was there like the Greys? Were they like did you
Yeah, so it's funny. One of the first, yes, I totally
Wow.
believed in like multiple alien species here on Earth specifically. Like I believed in the Arcturians being here, the
What's that?
Pleiadians. The
Pleiadians.
Arcturians, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're like blue-skinned people.
Ooh.
If I'm not
Like-
mistaken, and the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, which essentially are like
The tall whites.
yeah, right. The gray aliens, reptilians. I believe there could have been possibly 2 or 3 different types of races, I guess, of reptilians. I don't know why. And
Silurians.
yeah, so
Silurians.
I
Yeah,
believed in at least
Silurians.
5 or 6 different species here on Earth currently. And yeah, basically my research consisted of watching Ancient Aliens, watching
Aliens.
YouTube videos, and a couple of guys, Bob Lazar. Sure, if you know anything about UFO world, you know who
Oh
Bob
yeah,
Lazar
I
is.
know Bob Lazar.
He actually lives not too far away from me. He actually lives here in Michigan. He has a little science shop over here that I really want to check out. He's a super smart guy. He just, as far as the alien stuff goes, I just don't know how much I believe in all that. I just find it hard to believe nowadays. So yeah, Bob Lazar, Dr. Stephen Greer, I believed him just because
Disclosure Project.
Yeah, exactly. He's a
Richard
ER doctor or what? So I believed him.
What's his name?
Eric Von Daniken.
Oh yeah,
Chariots of the Gods.
Chariots of the Gods. Yeah.
Yep. Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens. He was like my idol.
Yep.
Brian Forrester. I talked to a guy named Brian Forrester on my show we talked about elongated heads. Like there's been thousands of elongated heads that have been found like throughout South America, which skull binding is like a normal thing that they do. And
it's an ancient practice.
It's an ancient practice that they've been doing.
It's a religious
What's interesting
ritual
about the skulls from Paracas, Peru in particular is their skulls are shaped in like a way different way than anywhere else in the world. And basically we don't know how they elongated their head, but they somehow did it. Because but we're just not sure if they used like the binding like with rope, or if they did like the planks in between, putting the baby between the two planks thing. We don't know how they did it.
Egyptians did it too. Well,
yeah, Egyptians did it. It was like a normal thing pretty much everywhere, because it was like a sign of high status. The taller your brain was, the taller your head was, the like closer to God you were, or something to that effect, depending on where you are in the world. So yeah, I just kind of believe that like maybe these elongated head people in Peru could be aliens, and they're like the remnants of the Atlanteans, and then it kind of went on from there that there's Atlantis in the middle of Africa and all kinds of stuff.
I think you mean like Wakanda. El Dorado, Wakanda, same.
Right.
Yeah, I just watched Wakanda Forever, and I like it. I thought it was a great movie, but holy fucking shit!
Oh my god, they got me like 40 times. I didn't even resist. I just let the tears fall.
Yeah, I did too. But their portrayal of Namor and his
that was pretty sick. I like that.
But it's not him.
I really need to watch it.
Yeah, it's not comic.
Namor is not Mayan.
Sure he is now. Sure he is in this movie, but no, not in the comic books at all.
Well, that's how I feel about Black Adam too. Like with
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. What's his name?
Rock,
Rock,
Rock the Dwayne
because
Johnson.
isn't he like Pacific Islander or something? And then Black Adam's supposed to be Middle Eastern, I believe.
Yeah, he's Samoan and black.
Yeah, so I was like, that because Black Adam's, I really like Black Adam. He's one of my favorite, like, I guess you could say anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Moon Knight
he was originally a bad guy, but he kind of goes good a little bit later on, right?
Moon Knight is so cool. I like Moon Knight.
Moon Knight was awesome. At least they did that one right.
What's the little crow thing? He was cool.
Crow thing.
The little dead crow dude that was
the Avatar dude.
The crow.
No. In Moon Knight, like he had like that.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
That was giving him his power. It was like a bird thing.
Yeah. It starts with an
Chat,
A, I think.
Chat, help us.
Google. Just Google this shit.
They're faster than Google.
Most of the time, yes.
They're the best. What's the name of the god from Moon Knight? Chime in.
Because the bird one is Ra, isn't it? Or is that Horus?
Horus is bird.
It was like a.
So is Thoth.
Thoth, yeah.
Thoth was the ibis. He was the messenger of the gods and the note taker, the history keeper. Yep. Oh fuck! I can't remember. It'll come to me. It'll come to me like during the after party. I'll be like, blah, 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 and everyone will go, fuck that.
Khonshu.
Khonshu, thank you.
Yeah. All right, I got a picture for you here. Hold on.
After Deadpool, nothing is measured up. I love Deadpool. Both of them were really good, I thought. But
they're making the next one, right?
Looking forward to the third one. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman and him do these little crazy pranks on.
No shit, he's in it.
Oh, they're so yeah. He's going to be in it.
Oh,
he talked him into it.
No.
Right after he said, "I'm never playing Wolverine again," and Ryan Reynolds went, "Oh yeah." So he got it together and they made it.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
about
sure.
That?
I'm pretty sure.
No, about him not doing it anymore. Here, I found the picture.
Oh yes. Holy shit, Calvin! We've gone an hour. Fuck.
Oh my god. Here we are.
Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you kind of wanted to tell us, like questions that we might have could have asked, but we didn't really.
Not necessarily. No, I mean I think we covered a lot of stuff on here.
Yeah, for sure. I think we did.
A lot to ponder for sure, but no, I think we covered quite a bit.
This dude.
Khonshu, there he is. Yep.
Yeah,
That guy. Love that guy.
With the corvid head.
He's funny.
All right. Well, then I think we can wrap this up and get into an after party. Hopefully, you can stick around a little bit for the after party, right?
sure.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We have more people in, and they might have something they want to ask you. You never know, right?
Cool.
But it's all a bunch of fun that we have afterwards, and we can talk more about conspiracies and more about comic books and more about all sorts of other cool stuff,
Yeah,
like we
right
always
on.
do. And Lego, because I got piles of fucking Lego.
Sweet.
Oh my God, there's a second tower forming, people. We got pillar B is going up.
It's now a Lego tree is basically what's happened. It's branched out a whole new section. We're going to have a naming of that new wing. No, I'm just kidding. Wing
The
number 2.
The Khonshu wing.
Right.
The Khonshu wing. There
you
go.
go.
Yeah. Dedicated to the ancient Egyptian god. Okay. Well, thank you, my friend, for coming on and hanging out with us. I'm totally glad you did. This has been a lot of fun. So I really appreciate that you could find the time and come and hang out with Mikey and me.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for having
guys.
me on. I had a great time.
I'm glad you did. Thanks. We did too. Thank you guys out there in the chat over on Twitch, Twitter, and here on the YouTubers. Hope you guys had a good time. Thanks for popping little questions into the chat like you guys usually do. It makes it a lot better. Also, thanks to my amazing patrons. And we now have memberships. So if you're not a member, consider hitting the little join button down below. Every little bit helps this channel.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Mr. Dad-to-be could use any extra help we can get.
Oh, you have no idea.
Kids ain't cheap.
Look, American in their healthcare system, I'm about to go completely off. Like sudden surprise medical bills and shit like that. Like it is so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like, why do we have insurance if it covered literally nothing?
Yeah.
It did
know.
nothing.
I'm telling you, move to Canada.
I keep trying to drag her over the border, but she don't want to go.
Oh.
She's got to
Run
have
with the baby. She'll have no choice but to follow you.
she needs to have some poutine. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hi, PJ.
As soon as she has poutine,
PJ.
she'll be trapped forever.
Putin? Yeah, she'll be in here for good.
Got her.
Holy shit. Why have you been hiding this from me?
They sell
PJ
this without a prescription?
Is this legal?
Right. This is not a controlled substance.
Nothing is illegal in Canada anymore.
Schedule
You can fucking make crack if you want.
Schedule 1 poutine.
Yeah. Hi, PJ. As usual, you showed up right at the end, but we are doing the after party, so you can hit the. Yeah. There is a link to the after party if you just want to hang out in the chat and make fun of us, which I always encourage. It is down below, so you click that and head on over, and we'll be there within the next half hour because we always like to take a little break between, so we can have a snack or refill our drinks or drain the vein or
finish
that
the
kind
tacos.
of thing. Finish the tacos, and and so yeah. Did I forget anyone? No, I guess I didn't. That's about it. Thanks everyone, and thanks again to our guest, and thanks Mr. Mikey for being my co-host and fantastic producer. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
What's untangled?